experiences with a new DL3 Pro from Digicel. It comes with a 5.5-inch screen, a dual 5-megapixel camera, and 32GB storage. Plus, when you buy the DL3 Pro, you get our new 30-day Digicel Prime bundle plan to enjoy everything. Buy it for yourself or gift someone you love. Only $12,000. Visit a Digicel store today. Digicel, better together this Christmas.
Diana, join me on the Glenn Lal Show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:20 p.m. and a rebroadcast at 11 a.m. The Glenn Lal Show only on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio 99.1 FM.
Good evening. Welcome to this evening's newscast on Kaieteur Radio. Kevin Smith here. Without further ado, let's get to the news in detail. The CH&PA, under the auspices of Substantive Minister Colin Crowell, was this year allocated some $6 billion for capital expenditure for spending this year. That budget agency, however, has already signed some $14 billion in contracts for road and other projects, traditionally not undertaken under this ministry's portfolio. The overspending by some $8 billion undertaken by the government agency has not escaped the attention of the political opposition, and as such, the matter will be raised during the next sitting of the National Assembly. The report of the Auditor General on the public accounts of Guyana, taking stock of the accounts of ministries, government departments, and regions for the fiscal year ended December 31st, 2020, will on Monday be made public. Monday will see the first sitting of the National Assembly since coming out of recess, which began in August last. We have learned that when the report is made public, it is expected to document the overpayment by both the PPPC and former APNU-AFC administrations during the course of that year, to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. And now let's tell you, 18 of the 21 contractors who submitted bids for the construction of the Ogle Fire Station tendered lower than the government engineers' estimate of $85 million. The project is being undertaken by the Ministry of Home Affairs. The engineer is a state employee, and questions have been raised about the glaring variance in his cost and that of 18 of the contractors, many of whom have years of experience in building construction. It is believed at this critical stage of public projects, millions are usually stolen through corrupt award of the contracts. We reached out to Home Affairs Minister Robson Ben for the name of the engineer attached to his office, but he declined to disclose the same. And moving on. The Environmental Protection Agency has waived an environmental impact assessment for the hazardous waste treatment facility at Houston, even though the operator, Tiger Rentals Guyana Inc., has its plant within range of residential properties and even schools. In confirming the suspicions of environmentalist Simone Mangal-Joly, the executive director of the EPA, Mr. Kemraj Parsaram, explained that while an assessment was not required, an environmental management plan was submitted to the regulator. Mangal-Joly recently highlighted her concerns over the fact that ExxonMobil's fourth project, the Yellowtail Development Environmental Impact Assessment, does not say how much toxic waste will be coming to shore or its potential impacts. She also noted that the Environmental Protection Act clearly states that an assessment must address the physical characteristics of the whole project and land use requirements, and that the Yellowtail assessment conducted by consulting firm Environmental Resources Management fails to do this, as it does not adequately account for the waste brought on shore. And now let's tell you, President Ali on Monday stated that Guyanese businesses are less competitive than their Caribbean and Latin American counterparts. He made this statement during his keynote address at a Harvard Business Faculty workshop. Ali first explained to the forum that Guyana has had major hydrocarbon deposits discoveries and stated that the country's newfound oil wealth Guyana is now poised to become one of the wealthiest countries in the hemisphere. The president noted some estimates suggest that GDP may increase by 300 to 1,000% in coming years. He then shared that his government has plans to deploy the gains from exploiting the country's hydrocarbons deposits into initiatives aimed at expanding the country's economy and competitiveness. However, the president detailed that currently the productivity of Guyana's private sector is below the other counterparts in the hemisphere. And moving on. Acutely aware of the harmful environmental implications associated with flaring, head of the EPA, Kemraj Parsaram, has assured that steps have been taken to increase the agency's surveillance capacity of operations aboard the Liza FPSO. At the moment, Parsaram shared that detailed records on flaring are provided to the agency by ExxonMobil subsidiary and operator of the Stabroek Block, ESSO. Parsaram added that the agency hired a geographical information systems specialist and acquired satellite image capability to access real-time data. He added in this regard that the agency makes use of data from SkyTruth, a non-profit environmental watchdog that uses satellite imagery and remote sensing data to identify and monitor threats to the planet's natural resources. And with that, we've come to the end of this evening's newscast. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening. Coming up next is a short presentation coming from the publisher of the Kaieteur News, Mr. Glenn Lal, followed by the National Outlook with GHK Lal, and at 19:20, the Glenn Lal Show. Tell it as it is. Do stay tuned to Kaieteur Radio.
Want value for